G'day, mate. Shall I throw a pip on the barbie for ya? Ripper. Good morning, everybody. Back in North America. Boom, 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 boom. Another 4 or 5 hour night sleep. Going to be back a little dehydrated. How was my flight? Well, I think it was 4 hours to Korea, 10 hours to Seattle, and 5 hours to Atlanta. But had the lay flat bed. But there's the real shame. By the last flight, I was so tired, couldn't even drink both bourbons. I only drank one. So I got a bourbon stuck in my backpack somewhere. But anyways. Oh, hang on, I gotta change the font size. I can't read. Let's go there. Yeah. So anyways, all right, good to see you. Hey, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, however, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Don't give up hope. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Put your diamonds in the sky. Zeal. Do I need specs? Maybe. I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning for the first time in a while. I've been doing these at 7:30 at night. But always 7:30 in the morning New York time, Monday through Friday. It's a Friday. Boom. Happy Friday. I want you to be a successful currency trader, and I'm here to help. Thank you for being on my team, and thank you for being a client to TradersWay. If you haven't done so yet, please visit TradersWay.com and give us a chance to earn your loyalty and respect. All right. So I think we're good to go. A little tired, sorry. So where should we begin? What are we looking at? Back onto my normal laptop. Let's start with these yens. It looks like we got yens. Aussie yen, USD yen, Euro yen, Pound yen, CAD yen, and Kiwi yen. Looks like these are 4-hour charts. Did we want these to go up or did we want these to go down on the 3rd week of August 2017? Most people say yeah, up. And how long ago did we create this general trading strategy for the yen pairs to be bullish the 3rd week? 3rd week of August. How long have you had this on your mind? Chuck 10 weeks ago. Carol's 3 weeks ago. Beats last year. How many people could say at least January? Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. Okay? I don't. I have no idea. But that's what a strategy is. It's a hypothesis. So how do you test a hypothesis? You examine and you observe and you gather statistics. Not back test. Gee whiz, Joe. I almost choked on my coffee. All right, so yeah, all right, so let's take a look. Let's just start with USD yen. The dollar, US dollar, has been weak for a very, very long time. bottomed out about the second week of August, then double bottomed the 7 days later, second week, and so now we're in our third week. We've started this process now, it seems like, of sideways, which is radically different than the down. Okay? Now, I can see we drew this, but I can sense, my spidey sense is telling me that we talked about it could doing that, but not likely. I can see the other stuff I got going on here. I have the range identified, and that makes sense. So I would normally assume we stay in the trend, then move sideways. And the reason I know that, I mean, I don't remember that exact analysis because I haven't touched this computer in 2 weeks. But 2 weeks ago, I could tell you that because we had 100% retracement, and that would be very rare, by the way, to have it go like obvious downtrend to suddenly a higher high. That would be very rare, and that would usually require some sort of news. But pulling back 100% tells me that we should go into a range, which it did. Now, if it did break out, then you would do a breakout strategy in that case. So now we're just sort of now caught into a micro range. You could call this whole area the range. But the real range is this bottom, such a beautiful bottom too, to this high. Okay, so I'd say up, down, up, if it were going to happen. That's all. Yeah, you know, quadruple bottom, I wouldn't get so carried away into that. Remember, this is just a time when nobody's trading. So, you know, I wouldn't make a big, I mean, that's a big thing, you know, like, ooh, quadruple bottom. That sounds really important. I don't think it's really important. It's just more like Z's. Okay? Okay? But looking into it a little more closely, kind of feels like it's trying to head up this time, right? I wouldn't get too caught up into the moving averages because you don't use moving averages in the sideways market. The 2155 represents the market. Remember that, the market. 58 represents price. Right now I'm looking at the market, and the market is sideways. So there's clearly no market. If it's moving sideways, it's not a bullish market, it's not a bearish market. There's no market. The market's neutral. So all you have is price. Okay? Now this divergence tells me that maybe it trickles up a little higher, creating a market. Maybe it happens next week. Maybe we need some Jackson Hole action, some action Jackson. Got it? Everybody cool with that? Questions, concerns, comments? It's neutral, but thinking about maybe not being neutral any longer. So either dollar strength, yen weakness, or both. Typically, if you were trading the range, you would dump this. But remember, what I tell you is what's most important is you're at support and resistance, and then trade the oscillator. Well, you should have already done that. And if you did, you're not making any money. Look at this one. It dropped instantly. At resistance, oscillator dropped, made your money. At support, oscillator rises, made your money. At resistance, oscillator drops, and nothing happened. You see the difference? So what if this 21 pushes this up to this higher pivot cluster up into here? And if so, you would trade it like a breakout. Okay, so I would assume then this comes into play. You can see it's a pivot. So I would stink this. Maybe. If I was a bull, I would think that. If I was a bear, I'd be wondering why I haven't made money on my short. Yeah, everything good? You guys awake? We're quiet. Euro, US, Euro, yen. All right. All right. All right. Just a quick question. In my book, written, I guess, 9 years ago now, or released 9 years ago, when you get a 786 retracement like this, what does it predict? Is that right, Bev? Cool. I still have carpal tunnel syndrome because of that, Bev. So enjoy it. Changing direction. No, I wouldn't say that, Carol. That's not what I'm looking for. End of a trend? No. I mean, sort of indirectly, but not necessarily. Actually, right, Daniel's close. Shug's way off. Joe's simply copying Daniel. There we go. Thank you. 100. Did you look it up? Because you're saying double top. In this case, it would be double bottom though. Yeah. Yeah. Vedanth. Am I saying that right, Vedanth? Vedanth. Right on, Vedanth. Cool. Vedanth. Never come across a Vedanth. I have a friend, Dathan. Dathan, Vedanth. Cool. What part of the world is it from? If you don't mind me asking. Wow. There's 28 provinces, 4,000 languages. Come on, Vedanth. India. That's so funny. It's from India. Yeah, shocker. Really? Okay. India. All right, thanks, Vedanth. Yes, I assumed India. It could be Pakistan, I guess, or Bangladesh, I guess, but sorry, I assumed India. I sense that I'm going to do another Indian trip, trip to India, I'd say in the next year. I don't have time in the next 6 months. I think I have to go to London in a couple of weeks. So that would probably kill the rest of this year. Then I want to take the family on a trip. So yeah, but I'm thinking next year. Mumbai. I got to do Mumbai and then head south. Because as we all know, you're not a real man unless you pull a tiger's tail. So I got to do that. So anyways, let's get back to the story here. This 786 predicts a 121.4. 121.4, and you'll never find that in any other book. No other trading book has it. I know because nobody taught me how to trade Fibonacci. It's true. Nobody taught me how to trade Fibonacci. I couldn't find any information when I first started trading. So this is why I draw my fibs upside down. You know, I'm self-taught, which means it works, but It's all reverse engineered. So what I did when I was trying to figure this out is I looked at the 100% line, or what I call the 100% line, and then I look at this distance here, 786 to 100. What's 100 minus 786? $21.4. Thank you. Okay, great. So I thought about this. One of the things I noticed when I was learning or observing, teaching myself Fibonacci, was that there was a balanced ratio, if you will. The 618 predicted such a distance, and this predicted such a distance, and this was somewhere in between, and it all meant something. Okay? It was almost like, let's say a Fibonacci retracement predicted 100 pips. Okay? I'm not saying it does, but let's just say it does. Well, therefore, if it did, this would mean 100 pips from there. This would mean 100 pips from here. But either way, it's 100 pips, but it changes your target. Okay, it's not quite that way, but there's sort of a ratio anyways, okay? So the farther back here, the less it extends, the less it pulls back, the more it extends, but there was a symbiotic, harmonious, fractional relationship, okay? So from that, and this is all from observations, guys. I mean, think about this. What was the internet like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I was teaching myself Fibonacci? There wasn't even, I mean, they had some like golden ratio stuff from mathematics and computer science, but not for trading. So all of this is observation, right? So anyways, I looked at this and I thought, well, what would a 786 mean? And so I did a thing and I looked at this and I said, well, I want to look at this distance here. And I got 21.4. Now to keep it balanced and congruent and on the same sort of ratio path, all I did was I looked at this line. I guess I'll change the color. This line. And I took that and plotted it forward. What I did was this. There we go. Okay, so what I did is, if it made this and it was this far from there, then it should theoretically, if the math worked. Remember, it's just sort of math. Yeah, but see, I still don't know what an ABCD pattern is. Right? I've never taken a course, so I'm telling you what I figured out on my own. So what I did is I took, well, before I move that, we have to take the measurement point here. So I took this, okay, and then this distance here from the 786 to the 100, I took from here and extended from the 0 up and got 121.4. And from observing thousands and thousands of years of trading history, through backtesting, right? Whoever put that up there. No, all right. Through my observations at that point of trading, I said to myself, my observations have told me is if we do a 786, it'll predict a 121.4. And that's how I did it. Is it? Cool. No one's taught me that. No one's taught me anything. That's why my fibs are upside down. But what can I tell you? So the 786 predicts a 121.4. And again, that's another sign that I'm self-taught. Nobody on the planet uses 21.4. It was just something I made up. All right. So anyways, that's kind of interesting, I think. But the way it's behaving here, this ginormous pullback again, shows weakness in the downward move. It's true. Hey, Peter. It's true. You know, and if I was smarter, I wouldn't do Forex, I guess, right? I think the beginning of my book, don't I talk about that? Like if you stood on the corner of a busy metropolitan street handing out flyers saying, hey, I got a business opportunity where 95% of people will lose all their money. You want to get involved? People would think you're stupid. Yeah, here we are, all of us. Hey, everybody here is above average. Everybody here is special. It's amazing. Yeah, but this is what we do. Something's seriously wrong with us. But being an ex-supermodel, I need a career, man. Okay. That looks awfully bearish. We're just so short, man. It's amazing. This is just so bearish. So there's this is a sell zone. And there's sort of a rangey kind of thing going on here. So this needs to fall. If it goes above these areas, it's predicting the end of the down. Not necessarily the birth of the up, but certainly sideways, right? So keep an eye on this. It smells like a double bottom. It's not there yet. So, most likely you should short this. Most likely, at some point soon, it tries something like that. So I'd almost want, I think everyone would want, a double bottom of the double bottom, like this. Big rally, big drop, big rally, big drop, rally. Okay, so a double bottom of this double bottom, which then creates a double bottom of this double bottom, and then up. Why? Because people is stupid, and they haven't planned this 6 months in advance like you and I have. Joe says it should go to, I would say it could. But here's my thinking here, okay? Forget the rules of Fibonacci, forget the rules of pivot points, just forget the rules. Don't tell me the should. Okay? So let's be a little more, is it subjective or objective? Subjective? Do you see this as potential support? Don't look at pivot points, don't look at moving averages, don't think about Fibonacci, don't think about patterns. Is that support, yes or no? If you think it's support, then support's going to hold. Okay? That's that. Nothing trumps support and resistance, not even Trump. If that's support, it's support. I don't care what indicators you use. what algorithms you apply, what squiggly colors are important to you. If you think that's support, then support will hold 100% of the time, unless it doesn't. If it doesn't, that's unpredictable. You can predict that being support, however. Okay? So if it falls through that support, it's unlikely. But it could. It could do anything. Okay? But if Fibonacci wasn't invented, that would still be support. If pivot points were not invented, that still would be support. No moving averages, still support. Price action, still support. Okay? So you got to play the support card. You either take your profit or you look for a reversal pattern to go along. That's all I'm saying. Should? There is no should. Isn't it weird that I just flew 40,000 miles in 9 days? And you guys came with me? Isn't that weird? Who does that? Who buys a plane ticket for the next day to fly to Hong Kong? And then when they're in Hong Kong, buys the same day ticket to Dubai? It's great. Spent 20 hours in Dubai. It only took me 16 hours of flying in the same day. I flew Saturday night. I ate my dinner 2 o'clock in the morning in my hotel room, lonely businessman. Spent all day Sunday hanging out with billionaires. Jumped on a plane Sunday night back in Hong Kong Monday morning in time to do my webinar. Isn't that cool? It's amazing that that just happened. If I could stay the night. All right. Hey, look, I'm still making money. Isn't that nice? Cool. At some point, I should lock in some pips. How many pips should I lock in? I'm long 86, so I'm up almost 200 pips, 180 pips. So if I jam it at 87, that'd be too much, right? So anyways, I don't want to adjust it yet. Right at the take profit though, huh? So what do we need Grandma to do? Yelling and screaming. What does she need to say? That the market looks good, macroeconomics is improving, but they're not going to raise interest rates. Something like that. See, cheap money is good. Oh yeah, Draghi stuff? Yeah, well, yeah, he's in a hard place. So whatever. We'll let all this play out. Very often, in my experience, we get through all this, you know, big news. There's always big news, right? This year it's different. And maybe some big news does come out and you get some volatility, some up and down. But at the end of the year, you look back and it essentially did what it was supposed to do anyways. What do you mean by taper? Are you talking the Euro ECB taper? Or are you talking about Fed balance sheet? Oh, I don't know. All right. Is the news calling it a taper? It's interesting. I wouldn't have called it a taper. But, you know, they have to be careful because they don't, when they sell these bonds, it raises interest rates. And there may not be a need to raise interest rates. So what they're doing is they're almost like sterilizing. It's not quite the right word. But the first thing that they're going to do is when a bond matures, they're just not going to reinvest. And then if they are going to dump some of their portfolio, they're only going to do a little bit. And if they do too much, they buy some back. So taper, glide plane. It's a flat glide plane. So yeah, you know, on the short term, I don't think it's going to make any significant deal because they don't want to make a big deal. So what are we going to do here? How's Aussie doing? So I'm long 85, 50 or something. 85, we're at 86, 87. So again, 200 pips on this one. Cool. So what is that, 350, 400 pips profit? Cool. All while traveling. It's not bad. So you can see, let me not delete this. You can see we thought it would come up to this resistance area and maybe come down and then maybe break out. Well, it kind of did the opposite, right? It went up and then it came down. Holding over the weekly S1 on top of the monthly support. So you can see institutional traders are using the monthlies, aren't they? See, this is an intraday move, but the big boys probably they don't even watch intraday. Right? What if all you look at were daily candles? How would you interpret this? They bought it at monthly support. See, some of these guys, they don't even use the M pivots. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay. So the bigger traders are just looking at it this way. Okay. If this 21 breaches and we get above this pivot, then the target is R1. So I thought these M lines were going to be removed. Let me check it again. Mid pivots, false, false. What if I delete it? . All right, let's do something different. Let's go standard. Okay, so let's look at it this way. You can see that I bought off pretty obvious support, especially in here, right? And then let's add to this, insert indicators, custom, and this one. No mid pivots, no weeklies, monthlies only. There we go. Seems like this is what's in play, right? Maybe not this dip, but something might be setting up here, right? So hopefully what it does is it goes up to this level. Okay? And then it'll come down, right? But if I'm a bull, I think it's going to kick off this stuff now, because we know there's a pivot in there as well. And maybe we get some action like that. And I'm not respecting it because it's a pivot. I'm respecting it because it used to be support. Okay? Remember, it's not that I'm respecting it as resistance. It's just I think bears are going to sell there. Okay? And these, yeah. Then Dubai, I arrived at like 2 o'clock in the morning. No, 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely humid, like 99% humidity. It was like a fog. And I went outside, and my Uber's telling me to go to the parking garage. So I go to the parking garage. I mean, it's 100 degrees. It's over 100 degrees at 1 o'clock in the morning. Go to the parking garage. I swear to you, it was 150. 150. Well, what I found, and maybe it was just the day I was there, Anise, but it's hot during the day, and as soon as the sun goes down, poof, there's like a fog, and the humidity goes, just skyrockets. It's, to me, I felt it was way more humid at night. So I was hanging out at a swimming pool at the top of the Ritz-Carlton, anyways, you can see way up, and all of a sudden you can just see it coming toward you like a sandstorm. As the sun's setting, it just looks like a sandstorm, and it's the humidity. Like, wow, nice. Oops. Had some good Indian food in Dubai when I was there, and Dubai's got some fantastic Indian food. I had naan. The naan was to like die for. It was so good. I'll remember that for a long time. All right. I'm lost in the thought. Yeah. Oh no, but this place. Do you know the mall that's in like the pyramid? There's a pyramid. A couple of high-end hotels. It's out toward the airport. You know which place I'm talking about? So everything's Egyptian and stuff inside. Yeah, Wafi. Yeah, there's a place in there. Asha's. Really, really good. All right. So, anyways, I've totally lost it. Yeah, it was that good. Yeah, you know Asha's? Yeah, she said this woman, Asha, has been singing since she was like 8. And she's like 100. She's the Guinness World's Record for the most recorded songs. She has like 14,000 recorded songs or something. Just amazing. She owns all these restaurants now. Oh my gosh. Food was good anyways. All right, so let's go through some commodities and stuff. Look at that, huh? Look at this, 382 holding twice. Oh, you know what I want to talk about? 2 things. Rumors are telling me that some refineries were going to shut down for maintenance. On top of that, isn't there a hurricane slamming into the Gulf of Mexico / Texas? Where do you think the refineries are? Kansas? Denver? Utah? No, Gulf of Mexico, bro. And they're getting slammed. So I think if we get some refinery shutdowns, what's going to happen? Well, it's an interesting thought, but who buys crude oil? So what if refineries don't buy any oil because they're closed for business? Yeah, so but any shock to the oil supply you think would go up, but I guess it matters when. So it's just a thought. I want you to think about it. There's no quick and easy answer here. But maybe the news, people rally this up, then it comes down, and then what? Then refineries have to burn through their supply and order new stuff. So maybe it's a big rally at the end of the year that nobody's pricing in. Yeah, so Peter's like, oh, so it'd be interesting how prices affected. Pay attention is all I'm saying. Okay? But I'm just trying to like string the pearls together, right? Cause and effect, cause and effect. Yeah. So when you read about a hurricane, but like, you know, there's a funny picture. Let me change my camera to an avatar. All right, this is from a long time ago. Can you see this image? Look in the top left-hand corner. That would be true in Is, yes. Especially if it's cold. If there's a cold winter in the Northeast, then yes. Right, can you guys see the top left corner of this? You know what, I forgot, I can expand this. I want you to look. Oh, it's not, it doesn't let me draw on my avatar. All right, top left corner. Oh, great, now I can't see the chat. All right. So what is it that I'm doing? This is like 8 years ago. I'm like a child. All right. Funny thing is, I remember that day. I remember. But anyways, yeah, I'm tracking weather. This is when I traded a lot of commodities too. So here's what I'm watching. In the one with the green looks like a cucumber. Yeah, it's live weather, and I'm tracking the trajectory of a hurricane. And then specifically, I want to track them before they get to that point. And I track if they're coming in low off of Africa into the Eastern Caribbean, or if they're coming up higher towards like Haiti and Dominican Republic and Cuba. So imagine like if it's coming low like Eastern Caribbean, I'm gonna plan for one thing. If it's coming up higher, let's say Virgin Islands, right, above Dominican Republic, then I'm going to plan for something else. So this one is coming up, right, and it's slamming in, and it's coming up high. So there's two things that there's two things. Yeah, you got it. You got it, Israel. Right, so if it's coming in low, I think what it's going to do is slam into Mexico. And what happens is then the land mass forces us up into the Gulf of Mexico where there's just less pressure. Because remember, when the weather slams into mountains, it's going to create high pressure. And therefore, it's going to go where there's lower pressure. How about the open Gulf of Mexico, wide open, right? So it curves up and it goes towards the low pressure. And there's 3,600 oil rigs and all the refineries. So if it slams into to that area, it might cause supply, it may disrupt the supply chain. Now the thing is, you should plan on it a week before it happens. And be in the trade before CNN has some guy standing on the coast with the microphone, "It's so windy out here! It's going to destroy everything!" Well, by the time that happens, the idiot traders up in where do they trade? Frozen concentrated orange juice. That's they used to be Philadelphia. But anyways, wherever those traders are, they only trade it when they see it on TV because they're not brilliant like you. So if you can get in a few days before CNN, all right, you can buy, so if it comes in low Gulf of Mexico stuff, you buy oil futures. And then all of a sudden, if it hits on TV and CNN for 2, 3, 4 days in a row, they keep telling people, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then they bring all the experts. And they start saying, well, hurricane such and such destroyed everything, right? And they drum up a tragedy that still probably won't happen. But that's good because people start buying oil futures to hedge or to speculate. Meanwhile, you're in 3 days before they are because you're watching the satellite imagery in real time, not watching CNN. Now, if it comes up high, like Israel says, if it comes up high, it's not going to go into the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to hit into the big Caribbean islands like Dominican Republic, like Cuba, and it gets pushed up north instead of sort of south and north. It goes north faster and likely hits the coast of Florida where there's oranges. And you buy frozen concentrated orange juice because of the fear of disruption. Or in this case, ruining the harvest, and you just can't make more oranges the same year. Okay? That's what I'm doing 8 or 9 years ago. Isn't that funny? Isn't trading great? So we got a hurricane going on. What I'm suggesting is you should be on top of that and preparing a plan. It's just cause and effect. It's funny, this is just a random day. I used to do an interview once a once a week, I think it was, on Forex TV. That's just me doing a Forex TV interview. Did them all the time. Used to write for magazines all the time. I ran something called the Currency Corner, a magazine that was distributed throughout Asia, Australia, and London. You know, I don't know anything about feeder cattle, actually, Juan. It's kind of interesting. Don't really know. So, did we get any amazing durable good data? Was it amazing? Yeah. I'm not a big durable goods guy. It's so choppy that it's not really worth anything to me fundamentally, anyways. Yeah, so anyways, pay attention to oil. It might get good. Interesting thing is, I think this hurricane's going to hit Texas over the weekend, which means you could have a great Sunday open. So pay attention, eh, Brew? USD CAD, peso too early, and we did. Oh, gold, I guess we can do. Wow, look at all that awesomeness. That's so much awesomeness, I don't want to touch it. It's too awesome. I should give this to you and say, draw the MACD. Okay? I can draw the MACD for you myself. Europa. So MACD, let's make this the bottom. Make this the top. Guess I got to go the whole way. And then there's a zero line on MACD, isn't there? Okay? And some people will tell you, if it's above the zero line, it's bullish. It's below. That's so simpleton. All right. Anyways, I'll draw the MACD for you. Okay, it went up here, it dipped a little bit, and it went up, and then it dipped a little bit, and then it up, and it dipped quite a bit, and it went down to the water line, and then it rallied up, and then it dipped a little bit, rallied up, and it's flat and near the water line. You got that? Crossed up here, actually right in here. Almost came down, touched here, and now it's really flattening out. Okay? You got that in your mind? Boom. Turn that off. Okay. Insert, indicators, custom. I think it's this one. 21, 55, 8 colors there. It's not quite right. This is the wrong MACD, isn't it? Well, we'll see how it goes. I think this is the wrong MACD. So I got to draw the water line is right here for it. There. Is that what I drew? Crushed up here, came up, flattened out, went up, flattened out, came down, almost touched the water line right about here, went up, came down, is flattening out near the water line. Woo-wee! Yeah, you got to be able to, right? You need to understand your indicators. Lots of people will say things like, "Oh, I did it because the MACD told me." No, that's not a good answer. Okay, that's not a good answer at all. So you should understand what the math is telling you, so that you can read and extrapolate the data necessary. But MACD never tells you anything. Stochastics never tells you anything. Like, for example, some of these Stokes predict a fall, some of these Stokes predict a rise. Half the time it works, and half the time it doesn't work. So why is it even useful? It's only useful if you're at support and resistance. So you need to filter. So it doesn't tell you anything, it just extrapolates data. What does the stochastics tell you? The direction of the candles relative to the previous few candles. Look, it's making lower lows. Look, it's making higher highs. Look, it's making lower lows. It doesn't predict anything. You have to extrapolate that data and put it into proper market conditions so that it actually has meaning. You want to know that the market is exhausted and now failing to make higher highs and actually making lower lows. That's relevant. So you need to know what the candles are telling you. So I can feel it now. I'm just running out of steam. I'm totally tired. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a wonderful weekend. Please visit TradersWay.com and open an account. Thank you for being patient with me during my 40,000-mile 9-day trip. Yes. So I'll see you Monday, huh? Cool. Thank you for being on my team. You're important to me, and I hope you know that. Yeah, I will upload this and all the other ones as well. I think I'll be spending some time uploading to YouTube. Okay. Cheers, guys.